The sparkle cola was lukewarm, but actually rather delicious, with a delightfully carroty aftertaste. The clicking of my pit buck warned me that I was ingesting trace amounts of radiation with each swallow, but not enough to be harmful. I'd taken more harm standing around Sweet Apple Acres. And besides, if it reached a point where my radiation intake began to make me sick, I had a couple of Radaway potions, the only supplies from the iron-shod medical box that I had need to use just to survive the building. I spotted a bench just around the side of the building and decided to take my load off my legs, possibly read some of the Equestrian Army Today book I had picked up. As I turned the corner, my gaze fell upon an old, torn poster affixed to the wall. The image was the face of an elderly pony of an obtrusively pink coloration. Her mane was streaked with gray. In some ponies, gray hair made them look distinguished. In most, it just makes them look old. Hers made her look like a candy cane. Her eyes were huge, staring. I could swear, poster or not, that she was looking right into me. Some pony had ripped the poster right through the middle. I had no idea what her expression was supposed to be, but I couldn't help but feel like I was doing something wrong. Bold words below the image, now deeply faded, announced, "Pinkie Pie is watching you. Forever." There were additional words, very tiny, beneath, so small and faded that I had to lean close and strain to read them. A happy reminder from the Ministry of Morale. I stepped back, tilting my head as I looked at the poster again. Ministry of Morale? Watcher's voice erupted from over my shoulder, making me jump high enough my horn whacked the ceiling. Another well-meaning idea that was so much better on scroll. I gasped, willing my heart to beat regularly again, and felt a fleeting empathy with Sawed-Off. The sprite bot was hovering right next to me. Celestia, those things were silent when they weren't playing music. Are you trying to give me a heart attack? Oh, sorry. I gave the flying orb a glare. I forgot about the bench and started walking, trying to enjoy the rest of my sparkle cola. The sprite bot followed. I see you've got some armor. The mechanical voice seemed hesitant. I didn't ask why. Watcher either didn't care enough to explain or thought better of it. Maybe the fact that I was walking through the equestrian wasteland in an outfit coated inside and out with drying blood gave to pause. I could probably go up to any stable pony and go, "I am evil, bad, nightmare pony. Arr!" And even despite my size, they would take one look and flee. I sipped my cola and wished desperately for some place decent to bathe. Problem was, any water clean and radiation-free enough to take a bath in would be too precious to pollute. One of my canteens was empty, and the second was nearly so. Maybe the reason you're having trouble finding your place is that you haven't discovered your virtue yet, Watcher offered out of thin air. I stopped. What? How do you know? Oh, never mind. Then, what do you mean, my virtue? Well, the flying ball began, the greatest heroes of Equestria, ponies with lifelong bonds of unbreakable friendship and strength, were each known for exemplifying one of the greatest virtues of pony kind. Kindness, honesty, laughter. Laughter is a virtue? I asked dubiously. Roll with me on this, the sprite-bot continued without breaking stride. Generosity, loyalty, and magic. They really didn't know themselves, or each other, until one pony came to realize that her friends represented these virtues, and together they grew to live by them. Now I'm not saying those are the only virtues. They're just Now the bot paused, as if searching for words. Particularly important set. I'm just saying that perhaps if you learn to recognize the dominant virtue in your own heart, you will find yourself. And you won't need anyone or anything else to tell you your place. Watcher's voice cut out with an abrupt pop, and once again music poured from the bot. Brilliant. I watched as the sprite bot slowly sailed away. Well, if that wasn't a load of pony pies, I didn't know what was. Finishing my soda, I tossed the empty bottle amidst a pile of others. Empty bottles littered the equestrian wasteland like weeds. A new thought was occurring to me about Watcher. The Wasteland Survival Guide had to be written after the megaspell is rained down, long after, considering its sound advice on scavenging. So, that book wouldn't have been in the Ponyville library as part of the original, pre-war library. It found its way in there later, from the lack of being burned, defaced, or covered in blood, I was guessing recently, which made me wonder, did Watcher know about those poor ponies the raiders held captive? And if so, is that why I was talked into going in there? Was I manipulated into walking into that horror because Watcher hoped I would free them? I couldn't be sure, and considering that Watcher saved me, I should give the benefit of the doubt. But I couldn't help the niggling sense that Watcher had played me, and I don't like being tricked. My ears perked as the music stopped once again, replaced by a voice. But this wasn't Watcher's voice. This was some pony else. The voice wasn't metallic. It was the voice of a smooth male pony with greasy charisma. Friends, ponies, rejoice. Although the world about you is bleak, scarred and poisoned by the war of honorless, thoughtless, inferior ponies of the past, we do not have to live in the shadow of their greed and wickedness. Together, we can raise Equestria back to its former beauty. Together, we can build a new kingdom, where all live together in perfect unity. It's already happening, my good ponies. Already, the foundation for a new and wonderful age is being built. Yes, it's hard work, but don't we owe it to ourselves and to future generations of ponies to be better? No, to be the best we can possibly be. I'm telling you now, as your friend, as your leader, that we can, we must, and we will. What in a fever dream was that? The music had resumed, not popping back in the middle of a song like Watcher seized control of the sprite bot, but at the beginning of a new song. Like this was how the bot was supposed to work. What, ponies have leaders now? That was serious news to me. As far as I could see, we didn't even have a country. Hell, I'd settle for a town. Even just a few shacks built within vague proximity of each other, as long as they had ponies living there in peace, or as close as peace to the wasteland allowed. If we had a leader, we had to have at least one town, right? Trotting faster now, I found a ruin with enough intact stairs to get me up to what was left of a second floor. I brought out the binoculars and looked around. Sure enough, in the distance, I saw smoke. Enough plumes close enough together to suggest some sort of settlement. I prayed to Celestia that the smoke was from cooking fires, not raiders burning it to the ground. There was a path leading outwards towards the settlement. That would keep me from losing my way, and there was movement on that path. My horn glowed as I focused the binoculars, bringing a small group of ponies into view. Two of them were pulling a heavily laden wagon. A young pony rode on its back, apparently talking to the other two, who were guiding equally burdened two-headed beasts. The group was headed towards me, away from the theoretical town, but they didn't look as if they were fleeing, and none of them were wounded, all of which I took for a good sign. A very good sign indeed. I looked up into the thick, broiling clouds, up to where the disk of the sun made a brighter spot in the cloudy ceiling, and sent a prayer of thanks to Celestia.